right, good morning. It is just before 8:30. Today is what, Monday the 13th, February 2023. Not much going on. I've been trying to poke through some guys this weekend. I have a long to-do list cuz um it's been a while since I've seen the majority of both BioBoom, Bioreactor, and Healthy Dividend portfolios. Sorry, the majority of the tickers in those three portfolios actually starting to show good, solid setups. Um, Healthcare has been great overall. Biotech, small cap was crushed, but like much like the market though, their low was October, if not in June. And it seemed like the low for your more quality names, so your better bioreactor, bioboom, and then your growth bioreactors were June. Your more speculative stuff was in October. And then your blue chips in the healthy dividends really didn't have too much of a low beyond the movements of the overall market. And even if you look at them, the better healthcare tickers in the healthy dividends, um, they had they did better than the overall market in general. So there's a lot of good names looking solid setups. So I spent this weekend trying to get through a lot of just charts, doing some valuations. I promise this week is going to probably be in bombardment of tickers and a lot more price alerts probably this week. If we see a pullback, if we don't, funny enough, I want to buy this week, but I also, if we just rip higher at some point, we're going to be start hitting a lot of sell targets in the bioreactor, probably some in the healthy dividends, and then some of the better names, the stronger names in the bio boom is going to hit some sell targets. So it's kind of interesting. We might get two. It kind of depends on the volatility of the week. Not much really going on this week. Of course, we have just your weekly economic news to really look at. A lot of global political stuff that we might have to keep an eye out for, but earnings is not that strong for us this week. Wednesday we have a couple that we need to keep an eye on, but other than that, it's kind of dormant here. Anyway, let's take a look at the SPY. Yeah, so this green uptrend ray from January 6th is, and here's the downtrend. So we're back below the anchored VWAP from the all-time high, which is purple line here. We pierced it this morning, but it's kind of sitting right on it right now. Let's go down to the 1 minute just to see how she's trading. We're hitting the 8:30, so there's the 8 o'clock. 8:30 is when you start seeing a movement, but the volume is atrocious. 12 minutes ago, that's what we had this. So right around 8:15. Interesting. Time to start looking at some Raytheon, Lockheed Martin. Who else is there? Well, Boeing too. Who's the other one? Lockheed, Raytheon. Oh, General Dynamics. Oh yes, our boys at General Dynamics. Anyway, Northrop Grumman, Lockheed Martin, Raytheon, General Dynamics, and Boeing, I think, are the big ones. There might be some other ones in there too. Anyway, Nothing there really. I got no names this morning. Take a look at the daily here. This is just the classic. Look at tagged it. Still can't get over that. How close that came to the buy. Oh man. She's selling off a little bit, but up green this morning. Well, let's take I don't have the monthly overlay, but let's see what that looks like. So weakening monthly, and then you have a rising daily. So anytime you really kind of get above that, so as the monthly's coming down, right? Anytime the daily starts to overshoot the monthly on a weakening, if you have a weakening monthly, so the chart's getting weak over time, and the daily pops up above it, usually you get a little bit of a sell-off. So same thing here. Here's the monthly declining. Here's the high here, and then notice it kind of just, and the opposite can be set. So now the monthly's coming up. You start to see these dips, and then this is a classic, one of my favorite bullish divergence. So if you haven't seen this, I've done this, I don't know, several times before. I don't want to say dozens, but so you have a monthly, which is this daily, the monthly RSI, which is the dotted line on the RSI chart down here. When that starts to rise up, right, and then you get a bullish divergence in the daily chart, or the daily RSI, meaning the daily chart and the daily RSI. So the share price gets to a lower low, but the RSI is a higher low. Now, this isn't obviously like, this is not the point where, oh yeah, this is going to where it's, this is the low point of, the 52-week low, long-term low. It usually creates a spike because it's just, things are starting to strengthen up. And it's the realization that the lower low did not create more sellers, right? So there's reasons why it's happening. It's not just because it's plugged in and it just happens. I mean, there's obviously price action that determines that it's going to move back up, but there's the realization that the lower low did not create a sell-off, and sellers tired out, buyers stepped in, and then typically when you get this setup, which is a kind of a double bottom, right? But it's a lower low, stronger RSI. You get a nice solid rebound out of it. You see this angle of attack is nice and steep. I typically tend to make a small addition here, or maybe if I'm starting to look for a time to get in, this is where I look to get in. It happens also on a larger time frame, like the monthly here. You can find those spots where it's like, hey, it's a lower low on the monthly chart. Obviously, you can see on here on the daily. This is a spot where you add. I'd probably be honest with you. This is probably where I was started in position, and then probably would have taken a larger position, and then added here, and then probably on this breakout. So I haven't been in a rough position here, but you can see how the same idea happens on a bigger time frame and then a smaller time frame. Yeah, that's close enough. But anyway. Moving on. Qs. All right, so looks like we have another potential uptrend rate coming off the Q for the Qs here. You see that? So that's good. Obviously, it's going to have this one here for the down. There's that one. Angle of attack slightly to the up, but it's basically symmetrical. Came down, touched the 200-day top of here. So far we're inside of Friday, so not much to be said. But Qs are leading. Diamonds are flat. So SPY is going to be halfway in between. Roughly. Not much going on there. Anything that's leading in terms of healthcare? No, basically everything's flat this morning. It's kind of boring, which is okay because maybe it's just digestion. Last week was a strong week in many ways, but also kind of tailed off. So maybe it's just people seeing if this is just Friday was just a low and now we're bouncing out, or is this coming up into here and then we're going to get rejected down? Because this is obviously, you got one, not including the initial, but 1, 2, 3, 4 contacts after. So I mean, it's not steep angle of attack, but it's obviously this is a high conviction downtrend ray. Whereas this is from a longer term, but it doesn't have as many contacts. So short term many, long term a few. I don't know. Still kind of bullish, but it's obvious that it's probably not going to get up into this and just blast up. Anyway, anybody else? I keep coming down here. I'm looking at Illumnia. They just continue to have a rough time, but I'm not concerned. I just would rather get down to the 185 area. I want to be patient here. I mean, I'm willing to nibble while it's in this area, but I just want to. This is the areas where I want to get it. But the only problem is now if it comes down here again, I doubt it's probably only going to get to like maybe 190 and tag that and run. If it does come down here, then you have to worry about this is the final time. You know, can the buyers hold it up again? The sellers just take it lower. But you got this RSI coming up here. Maybe we have one more day where it just wants to dip below 185. I'll keep an eye on it. I'm not rushing to buy it today. It's on my watch list, but Catalan starting to get a little bit of a fade here from after the potential buyout rumor, or the rumor for a potential buyout by Danaher, which would make a lot of sense for both companies. But there's that. What else we got going on here? Comes back down. Probably a good idea if she comes back down to the 50s area, which I'm not sure if that's going to happen because of the news, but we'll see. I'm going to keep it. That's going to be it. Honestly, I'll put about a handful of names in there. I'll go through the sheets and see if there's anything that's really worth putting on there. But as of right now, I got nothing. All right. So we're going to keep it pretty light today. I don't expect to really pull any triggers in the first half of the day. It's going to be probably another 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. See how the day's shaping up. And if it looks strong and there's anything that looks like a solid setup over the daily, and that's within our, buy target, buy thresholds, we'll probably pull the trigger on that. Okay. All right. Hopefully this uploads in a decent amount of time. Really staying, I don't want to say cautious here, but I'm going to be patient and wait for the opening bell, see if the market wants to move up a little bit and fade, or kind of maybe take a dip and then a little bit of a rip into the afternoon. All I know is I don't want to be involved probably for the first couple hours today. Gonna stick to day trades. All right, good luck and stay healthy.